Well, good evening once again. Day 1391 of the Trump administration. 71 days to go until the inauguration. That brings us to the transition to a Biden administration. That's being held up. That's because the incumbent president is questioning the election results, potentially triggering a colossal constitutional crisis. He hasn't spoken in public since last week, although we may see him tomorrow at a Veterans Day event at Arlington National Cemetery. Trump still maintains he did not lose the presidential race, writing this morning, "We will win." But tonight, the New York Times reports it has contacted election officials from both parties in almost every state who said there was no evidence of fraud or other irregularities. Nothing has changed the central fact tonight that Joe Biden is the president-elect of the United States. Today, he said his transition team is indeed moving forward.
The ability for the administration in any way by failure to recognize this our win does not change the dynamic at all in what we're able to do. We can get through without the funding. I don't see a need for legal action, quite frankly.
What do you say to the Americans that are anxious over the fact that President Trump has yet to concede and what that might mean for the country?
Well, I just think it's an embarrassment, quite frankly. The only thing that, how can I say this tactfully? I think it will not help the president's legacy.
Biden is still ahead of Trump by more than 257,000 votes in the states where lawsuits have been filed to challenge the results. Biden is leading by over 4.9 million in the total vote, the popular vote. And while the math appears not to be working in Trump's favor, there are new signs of the Trump administration's role in blocking this transition to the president-elect. NBC News has confirmed the Washington Post reporting that the White House Budget Office has directed federal agencies to go ahead and continue preparing the Trump administration budget proposal for the next fiscal year. NBC News also reporting Trump loyalists have now been installed in top positions at the Pentagon one day after the firing by tweet of the defense secretary and the resignation of several other senior officials. And over at the State Department, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo made this rather bold statement.
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. All right, we're ready. The world is watching what's taking place here. We're going to count all the votes.
This department frequently sends out statements encouraging free and fair elections abroad.
Yes.
And for the losers of those elections to accept the results, doesn't President Trump's refusal to concede discredit those efforts?
That's ridiculous. And you know it's ridiculous. And you asked it because it's ridiculous.
That is America's top diplomat on the world stage, President-elect Biden, who's already taken calls from 6 foreign leaders, including some of our closest allies, dismissed Pompeo's remark.
And so far, there is no evidence of any of the assertions made by the president or Secretary of State Pompeo. Secretary of State Pompeo.
Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, Senate Republicans and their leader, Mitch McConnell, for the most part, backing the president in their refusal to publicly recognize Biden as the president-elect.
Senators, did Vice President Biden win the election?
We don't know yet, dude. We haven't been certified.
Senator, have you congratulated Vice President Biden yet?
No.
Why not?
Congratulating both.
Have you spoken to Vice President Biden yet?
I have not.
Do you believe he won the election?
The president wasn't defeated by huge numbers. In fact, he may not have been defeated at all.
That last guy there is Senator Roy Blunt, Republican of Missouri. You just heard him say he may not have been defeated at all, talking about the president. He's actually chairman of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, so he might be getting busy here soon. There is also growing concern tonight about the impact of the highly charged transition crisis on our national security. Another piece in the Washington Post notes current and former officials fear that Trump may be inclined to disclose highly classified information for his own purposes. House Democrats are now demanding Trump officials keep and preserve all records that may be subject to congressional subpoenas or investigations.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.